How did Britain, a small island nation, build one of the largest empires the world has ever known? The story begins much closer to home, in Ireland. Today, we'll take you on a journey through the fascinating and complex history of the British Empire. We'll uncover how it began, the strategies it used to expand, and the consequences it left behind. This isn't just a history lesson, it's the story of power, ambition, and the human cost of empire building. Stay with us for the next 5 minutes as we unravel the first country the British ruled and the chain of events that led to their global dominance. The story of British domination begins in 1169, when Anglo-Norman forces invaded Ireland. At the time, Ireland was divided into smaller kingdoms, making it vulnerable to external forces. The Normans quickly established control over large portions of the country. Tudor conquest. By the 1500s, England's ambitions grew. Under the Tudors, England sought to consolidate control over Ireland. This era saw brutal campaigns, including the suppression of rebellions and the imposition of English law and culture. The plantation system. One of the most infamous policies was the plantation system. English and Scottish settlers were encouraged to move to Ireland, displacing native Irish populations. This led to deep resentment and cultural conflicts that persist to this day. Ireland wasn't just the first country Britain ruled, it became a testing ground for colonization methods that would later be used across the globe. Foundation of Jamestown, 1607. The first successful British settlement outside Europe was Jamestown, Virginia, in 1607. This marked the beginning of Britain's colonial ambitions in the Americas. Struggles of the settlers. Life in Jamestown was far from easy. The settlers faced harsh winters, food shortages, and conflicts with Native Americans. Many died within the first few years. Economic success through tobacco. The colony eventually found its footing through the cultivation of tobacco, which became a lucrative cash crop. However, this success came at a cost, including the introduction of slavery to meet labor demands. Jamestown symbolized a turning point. It showed Britain the potential wealth colonies could bring, but it also set the stage for centuries of exploitation and conflict. The East India Company, 1600. The British didn't conquer India overnight. It started with the East India Company, a trading corporation established in 1600. Initially, their presence was limited to trade outposts along the coast. Expansion through diplomacy and force. Over time, the company gained military and political power, often playing local rulers against each other. The Battle of Plassey in 1757 was a turning point, marking the beginning of British territorial control in India. Economic exploitation. India became the jewel in the crown of the British Empire, supplying raw materials like cotton, tea, and spices. However, British policies devastated India's economy and led to widespread famine. The 1857 Rebellion. Discontent boiled over in 1857 during the Indian Rebellion. Although it was crushed, the uprising led to the dissolution of the East India Company and direct crown rule over India. India's story is a stark reminder of the dual nature of empire, immense wealth for the rulers and immense suffering for the ruled. The Caribbean. British colonies in the Caribbean, such as Jamaica and Barbados, became centers of sugar production. This industry relied heavily on enslaved Africans, creating a legacy of slavery and resistance. Australia. In 1788, Britain began colonizing Australia as a penal colony. Indigenous Australians suffered greatly due to displacement, disease, and violence. Africa. In the 19th century, the scramble for Africa saw Britain acquire vast territories from South Africa to Egypt. These colonies provided resources, but often at the cost of local cultures and autonomy. Exploitation and rebellion. The British Empire brought technological advancements and global trade networks, but its costs were immense. Cultural erasure, economic exploitation, and countless lives lost in wars and famines. Independence movements. The 20th century saw colonies fight back. From India's nonviolent struggle under Gandhi to armed revolutions in Africa, the end of empire was marked by resilience and hope. The British Empire shaped the modern world, for better or worse. Its legacy can be seen in global trade, language, and governance, but also in unresolved tensions and inequalities. As we look back, it's important to understand not just the power of empire, but the stories of those who lived through it. What do you think is the legacy of the British Empire, one of progress, exploitation, or both? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into world history, and comment your thoughts. What topic should we explore next?